Good morning, and I will call to order our regularly scheduled Committee of the Whole meeting. My name is Elizabeth Glidden. I am the chair of this committee, and we are joined today by council members Cano, Reich, Yang, Warsami, Goodman, Fry, and Palmisano, and we are a quorum of the Committee of the Whole and able to do the city's business. I will note for participants that we have an unusually short agenda, and so we are ready to go through our items. Item number 1 is a consent agenda item presented by the city coordinator. This is asking the city to adopt a resolution declaring the city of Minneapolis's commitment to using and reporting on performance measures created by the state of Minnesota. This resolution is in response to state law requirements, and we have adopted the same resolution for a number of years running. So I will move approval of this item. Discussion? Seeing none, all in approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that item is approved. Next, we have 2 items from the city clerk's office. The first item is a polling place amendment for 2014. I will go ahead and read the amendment, and if council members have questions at that time, then we will take comment from the city clerk. But this may be something, since I know it has already been discussed with those wards affected where we do not have questions. So this would adopt a resolution amending our previous resolution that approved a list of polling places for the 2014 gubernatorial election for Pratt, Ward 2, Precinct 5 from Pratt Community School, moving that polling place to Prospect Park United Methodist Church. And this would direct the city clerk to provide notice to all households within Ward 2, Precinct 5, having at least one registered voter of the change in the designated polling place. And so I will go ahead and move approval of this item. Are there questions or discussion requested? I'm not seeing any. All in approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that item is approved. Next, we have a receive and file report regarding the 2014 e-poll book project. There have been some materials that are attached to our online agenda that explain in length this project. And Mr. Carl is here to give us an overview of the project, and then we will receive and file the report. Mr. Carl.
To you and Councilmember Fry, Chair of our Elections and Rules Committee, for helping us expedite this. What we're here to present to the committee is our proposal to participate in the 2014 e-poll book pilot project, which is statewide. The cities of Edina, Minnetonka, and St. Anthony within Hennepin County have already indicated that they plan to participate in this year's event. We believe that as the largest city and one of the top 3 largest vote jurisdictions within the state, we have much to benefit from with this kind of a reform. There was a first pilot project conducted last year, but because of the limited number of participants in the pilot project, all participants agreed there was an insufficient amount of data collected. They want to do a larger statewide pilot project this year. We would like to participate in that. We do not foresee any costs to the city from this participation because the vendors who are working with us have agreed to pay for the use of their systems, their hardware, their software. There may be some incidental costs, which we believe would be covered by the existing clerk's budget, but would certainly be willing to come forward to the council for contingency funds if those were to exceed minimal costs. We're proposing to use the e-poll books in up to 5 precincts. First, we wanted to be able to test it in a multi-precinct polling place where we have multiple precincts all served in one location. We're proposing to use Powderhorn Park for that because it does have 3 precincts that are quite large, 9-2, 9-5, and 9-7. All told, those precincts serve 4,275 registered voters as of June 1st this year. We also want to use the poll books within a precinct that has a recurring high volume of mobile voters. Specifically, we're looking to the area surrounding the University of Minnesota. So we're looking for Ward 3, Precinct 1 for that purpose. In the 2012 presidential election, we had a 60% election day registration in that precinct alone. The precinct we're talking about currently, as of June 1st, has more than 2,000 registered voters. And finally, we want to make use of our electronic rosters in a precinct with a high number of voters who speak English as a second language, and we've chosen the Coyle Community Center in Ward 6th for that purpose. That one has over 2,700 registered voters as of June 1st this year. Again, we don't expect formal action from the council at this point because there is no appropriation of money. It's just getting, I think, notice to the committee and also making sure that there is no objection to our participation in this statewide pilot project, which would be held in November concurrent with the gubernatorial general election within these 5 precincts.
All right. So our action on this report is to receive and file. I'll just note if someone has a question, if you can please just raise your hand because I'm still getting in my speaker management. I'm not seeing questions right now. I'm going to move that we receive and file this report, and just note that we'll look forward to the results of this pilot project. All in approval, please say aye. Aye. Opposed. And that item is... Okay, and that item is approved. Next, we turn to reports of committees. I'll note there's no report from the executive committee, so the next committee is Community Development and Regulatory Services with that chair, Lisa Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. We have 16 items that are coming forward for approval tomorrow. Item number 1 is a land sale. Item 2 is the much-anticipated sidewalk sales ordinance change, which would allow sidewalk sales directly in front of businesses up to 3 feet. Councilmember Glidden's ordinance. I'll stop talking about it now. Item number 3 is denying a renewal of a tobacco license due to unpaid taxes. Item 4 is the regular liquor business gambling license applications. Item 5 is authorizing a contract with the Homeownership Center with regard to their foreclosure prevention counseling and foreclosure programs. Items 6, 7, and 8 are rental dwelling license conditions. Item 9 is authorizing staff to continue analysis of Broadway flats for a tax increment assistance. Item number 10 is allowing the Swedish Institute and the Minneapolis Institute of Arts to have liquor licenses based on the notwithstanding zoning approval from the legislature. Items number 11, 12, and 13 are our first 3 PACE projects, and I can explain that for those who need an explanation. Item 14 is reauthorizing money from our ESG, Homeless Prevention and Rapid Rehousing funding from the Minnesota Council of Churches to St. Stephen's due to the fact that the Council of Churches couldn't work out their issues with Mary's Place. Item number 15 is accepting money from Hennepin County to manage industry-specific and geographically targeted job fairs. And item number 16 is authorizing a contract with the university for traffic control at TCF Bank Stadium. I'm happy to answer questions on items 1 through 16.
All right, I'm not seeing any questions. Next, we have Health, Environment, and Community Engagement with that chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. The Health, Environment, and Community Engagement Committee is bringing 3 items forward. The first is approving appointments to the Minneapolis Public Health Advisory Committee, Ward 3 appointment and a mayoral appointment. And the other 2 are authorizing applications for grants. They're significant grants, but we can talk more about them if they're successful in the future. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
All right, I am not seeing any questions. The next committee report is intergovernmental relations. We have 1 item of significance that requires consideration by all 13 members of the City Council, and this was a proposed amendment to the filing fee for municipal elections. Next, we have Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Emergency Management. With that, committee's chair, Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 2 items. The first item is to authorize acceptance of a U.S. Department of Justice 2014 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $275,540. The second item is to authorize a contract with the University of Minnesota for $22,559 to receive canine veterinary care.
All right, and thank you for that report. Next, we have Transportation and Public Works. With that committee's chair, Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee forwards 8 items. Item 1 is the I-35 South Tunnel Rehabilitation Project. Item 2 is the Central Corridor Green Line LRT Project, and it's a series of authorizations for that project. 3 is the Critical Parking Area Number 28 Modification. 4 is the Bicycle Advisory Committee appointees. Item 5 is the Smalley Independence Day block event to allow them to operate outside of the time frame allowed under ordinance. Item 6 is the St. Anthony Parkway Bridge, and it's a series of executions to receive money from the Burlington Northern Santa Fe, which is a financial contribution from the rail company to the project. Item 7 is accept a single bid of Contact Engineered Solutions to furnish deliver grit chamber to the Service Water and Sewer Division. And item 8 is an addendum, which is Bridge 9 Pier 3 repairs, and it's a temporary construction agreement with the University of Minnesota regarding that bridge project. I'll entertain any questions, Madam Chair.
All right, I am not seeing any. So our last report is from the Chair of Zoning and Planning, Councilmember Bender. Oh, I am sorry. You're not, okay, all right. Councilmember Quincy would like to give the report on Ways and Means, so we should let that happen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ways and Means will bring 13 items forward for consideration on Friday. The first is two legal settlements. The second item is going to be amending master agreement with legal services agreement with City and Lockridge Grindle Nowen. The third item is passage of a resolution amending a resolution to correct the amount of the 2014 DID grant award for the Downtown 100 and Focus 1824 initiatives. The fourth item is a medical records procurement services agreement, 3-year contract with MCS litigation support. The fifth item is accepting $5,500 in 2 grants for the summer clerkship program and summer of civil rights event. The next item is the amending a contract with Life Tech Services for emergency medical services. 7 item is approving an application for free wireless community account at Lowry Tower at MPHA's high rise. 8th item is the executing contract documents with Sageti USA LLC for a 3-year period for Workforce Director System Application Software. The next item is amending the contract with ShotSpotter for gunfire detection system agreement in North Minneapolis. The 10th item is the extending a contract with 2 vendors for technology professional services master contracts. The 11th item is the executing a 3-year contract with Gartner for subscription-based research and related services. The next item is actually the executing contract documents with Gov Delivery and with SwiftReach for broadcast messaging systems. And the final item is from the Executive Committee, passage of a resolution approving a tentative agreement with the Electrical Technicians Unit, represented by IEBW 292, on labor negotiations. Happy to answer questions on those 13 items.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Quincy, and again, sorry about that. And now we turn to Councilmember Bender with Zoning and Planning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 2 items to refer from the Zoning and Planning Committee. The first is the zoning text amendment portion of the outdoor sales and display changes that will make it possible to display goods outside of business establishments. The second item is for 80 Broadway Street Northeast, and the committee voted to deny the appeal submitted by Diane Hofstede to approve a conditional use permit and site plan review to allow a liquor store at 80 Broadway Street Northeast subject to conditions, and the committee added some conditions related to traffic access to the parking lot.
All right, thank you very much. And I'm not seeing, and there is a question or point of order from Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. May I make an announcement?
Sure.
Or, I don't want to do it tomorrow in the council meeting, but
Yeah, go ahead.
There's been a lot of publicity this week about our adoption initiative with regard to adopting bully breed animals, and I just want to point out all the puppies were adopted, 2 adult pit bulls were adopted, and many more people are coming in to adopt these dogs. What that means for us that really didn't get out in the paper is that the rescues can take the harder to deal with dogs and train them and have them get out into the public as well, because the public public is going to adopt from us those dogs that don't really have very many issues. So it is a huge victory. There's going to be a drop in the euthanasia rate for these dogs, and it's something that those of us that were here during the last session of the council passed. Council President Johnson will tell you the issue of allowing bully breed dogs to be adopted was very controversial 12 years ago. In fact, the council members on the north side wouldn't support it. So we've come a really long way, and it's going to be a great outcome for animals. I just wanted everyone to know the success so far in only 4 days.
Thank you for that. I'm not seeing any further comment, and I believe we have concluded with our agenda, so we are adjourned. Thank you very much.